Hello! So I thought I would do a comparison for you today. And this is really going to be a little bit different. So I have used the same primer for years. And that is this one, the Insta Blur. And this lovely packet here, which you go through a lot of very quickly, is 20ml. It doesn't spread very far. And what this is it was great. It doesn't spread very far. You don't get a lot in your packet. It's about £8 and it is still the best one that I've ever used, and it blurs everything, which when you have all these lovely little spots is beautiful, and it does mattify as well. Now I'm comparing that today to Avon's Magic Smoothing SPF 20 primer, and this basically mattifies as well. It doesn't say it on the packet, but it does, and it does blur as well, which is basically what smoothing does. But it's also SPF 20, which is amazing, and it's 30ml, as well as only being £6. It's £2 cheaper. You get 10ml more, and it does the same thing, but has an SPF in it. So my favourite already, but we'll see. I do like to try things. So this is going to be our Body Shop side, and this is going to be our Avon side. I'm trying to remember how to say Body Shop then. So this is the consistency of the Body Shop one. It's very, very clear, and just pop it on here, blend that out towards the eye. Okay, and all of that I've just put on isn't going anywhere now. That is basically it done. So push that down around here and here. Tiny bit more. Another tiny bit. So that is as good as that side is getting. And as you can see, it is slightly blurred to the other side and a little bit matter, but as with any primer, it's got to sit for a little bit for you to really see the results. But it does feel very silicone-y. That is one thing I will say about it. I've always used it because it was cheaper than Professional, and I used to use Professional, but it's very silicone-y in feel. So next is the Avon side. Pop that side so I know which side's which. And this is slightly different. So this is like a white cream. So I suppose at least you'll know if you haven't blended it in properly. I'm just going to go from the cheek and a little bit on here and just rub that in. This is not the way you are shown to apply this sort of stuff when you're at college. I will add, you are shown to apply from light fingertip movements from the centre outwards. And the reason we tell you to use your fingers when applying primer is that it warms it up and it really helps to cover those pores. It basically helps it to have the right kind of desired effect. That's a little tip for you there. So if you're applying a primer, you really need to be applying it with your fingertips. So that is 2 pumps of that, as it were, and that is my face covered. They both kind of do the same thing. So this Body Shop side is kind of dried now, and before you apply your makeup, you should always let your primer dry for a little bit, just because it gets rid of that tackiness, but also helps it sink in and be ready. It doesn't feel wonderfully smooth. I can still kind of feel bits there, like obviously you'll still feel your spots, but I can still feel almost like the skin texture, but it doesn't feel tacky now or anything like that. I'm just waiting for the Avon one to dry a little bit before I compare that, but a little goes a long way with this Avon one. I have noticed I tend to like overpack this one, and it does feel silicone-y, but nowhere near as much as the Body Shop one does, which is really helpful. But it also doesn't have the same tacky feel that the Body Shop one does. It kind of just feels smooth. I can't feel the skin texture itself, although I can feel like the spots there. I can't feel the texture, so I can't run my finger across here and go, oh yeah, I can feel that dry bit there, or oh, I can feel those enlarged pores right there by my nose. I can't do that on this side. It just feels smooth. So that is basically the review of my primers, and they do stand up to foundation well, both of them. The only thing I will say is if you are vigorously rubbing that foundation on with the Body Shop one, it does kind of flake a little bit, almost like you get like a little bubble of it, which is really weird. But it's like almost like when you know when dead skin comes off when you're exfoliating, it's almost like that. And that for me is probably because I buff in powder foundations, but that is kind of the effect that I get. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.